What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg Miller, alongside the PlayStation powerhouse, Ryan Clements. He only does everything, Colin Moriarty.
Go Jets.
And boys, it's a huge day. The PlayStation 3 5th anniversary. November 7th. Give him a kiss. Happy birthday. But, Colin, lots happened in the 5 years. You're the statistician.
I'm the statistician.
Yeah, the statistician, I believe, is what they call it in the professional circles. How's it been? What's been happening? How are these things selling? In the beginning, couldn't move them. Year one,
no, they were too expensive early on. But after the Slim came out here in 2009, they've been selling pretty briskly, especially in Europe and obviously in Japan, its home country. They've sold about 55.5 million units, so it's only about 2 million units behind Xbox 360 with a year less time on the market.
Look for
That's
an
an intriguing number.
Look for an article there about that, I bet, from Colin soon. But it's anniversary. It's all about looking back at what these 5 years have been. So I want, boys, your favorite memory and then your least favorite PlayStation 3 memory. Start with favorites. Clements, you go.
Thank you, Greg. Well, I gotta say, I don't want to get too sentimental, but I'm gonna have to anyway. This little system right here, actually one of these fat ones right here, that's sort of my gateway into IGN when I first started. I mean, I literally bought a PlayStation 3 probably a few months before I joined IGN, and it sort of served as like my entry into the PlayStation team and my time, with this awesome community and the industry itself. So that's definitely a favorite memory for me, is sort of my jump into the PlayStation 3 universe.
Colin, what do you got for me?
There's so many great exclusive games and so many great launches and stuff like that, but I think that, we had a pretty hard time earlier in the year with the PlayStation Network outage.
Yeah.
And when it came back and we recorded Podcast Beyond and we got drunk and all those things, it's probably the best memory ever. Because we just, the problem seemed so dire and so real, and people's credit card information and personal information were leaked and stuff like that. So when that came back, it was a sense of relief that we can get back on there, sync our trophies, etc. and so on. Especially because I boycotted playing PS3 the entire time the network was up.
Well, it's funny, this shows how privileged we are in our lives. That I remember that celebration, that elation of it being back on, being akin to when you see the sailor kissing the girl in Times Square after the end of a world war. That's what it was. But my favorite part, I'm in the same with Clement's boat. PlayStation 3 obviously started at IGN. So did the PlayStation 3. It's been here as long as I have, kind of working our way up together and seeing it come through all these tribulations. And part of that was making a community. So mine is always interacting with the community, taking days off to play Mod Nation Racers on release day. I review the game, then I took the day off to play with everybody. And the same thing with DC Universe Online. Having a bunch of friends who are also nerds and love cross-media bars and trophies and stuff like that. That's great. Bring it down now. Let's end on a sad note.
No.
5 years, what was the worst memory for you, Colin?
I think it's really PlayStation 3's launch. I think, at $600 that the console was just too expensive. I think it showed a huge misstep by Sony, basically taking the 150 million or so people that bought PlayStation 2 for granted, thinking that they would just go, and basically saying that they will buy it with no games. They said that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even the games that were the issue. Obviously, Resistance and some other games were out at the time, but the $600 price point killed it for me. I was in college. I could barely afford anything. I wanted a PS3 so badly. I could not afford one. And that was really a bad scene, especially because PS3 supports, more exclusives than the competition and has more, I think riveting games that you must have a PlayStation to play, and you just couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I was totally in the same boat as you. I didn't even have a widescreen TV, you know what I mean? So a $600 price point for this thing, no way. I bought a Wii instead, you know what I mean? I had waited in line to pre-order. I enjoyed a lot of games on it, and then I got a widescreen TV, and I realized what HD was, and blah, blah, blah. But my least favorite memory of all, a couple years ago at GDC, watching them come out and announce that they had this PlayStation Move, and me being literally sick to my stomach. I was like, why are you going this route? Why are you sinking to this level? Because it was one of those things where the casual market had already been tapped. You know what I mean? They were clearly behind the ball. There was no reason I thought to go out and do this. And here we are, 2 years later from that announcement, and I'm right. I've been proven to be right, Colin.
You are.
Medieval Moves came out this year, and it's good, and Sports Champions was good.
Yeah, that's what
and there's a bunch of good Wii ports. And
just 2 original PlayStation Move games are basically all that's worth playing.
Yeah.
And this thing came out in September of last year.
Clements, bring me home.
You know what I still don't like that I just thought about?
What's that?
I still don't like that you actually have to sync trophies in order for that whole system to work.
There's some interface issues.
That still sort of annoys me, because this is such a good piece of hardware right here. But there are all those little interface problems that they kind of bug me once in a while, but that's about it.
All right.
I'm going to leave it on a nice, pleasant.
Well, no, that's the whole thing. It's been a great 5 years. All three of us wouldn't have our spots at IGN if we weren't so good at covering the system and so connected to fans like you. So, celebrate the PlayStation's 5-year anniversary today. In this video below, comment, what's your favorite memory? What's your least favorite memory? Where do you expect it to go from here? Because we're going to still be here at IGN covering the hell out of everything PlayStation, including that Vita.
Oh, yes.
We'll keep doing PlayStation conversations, I swear. They'll go back to being the gibberishy ones about trophies soon. Until then, follow us on Twitter, follow us on my IGN, and keep on playing that PlayStation. Except today on the 5-year anniversary when the PS7 is down for some reason.
Yeah.
Way to celebrate.
What are you gonna do?
It's his day off.